Hey guys, I guess it's been a little while since my last video, but I'm back today, actually with an exciting announcement and also some really good new music to talk about. So let's just dive right into it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with a record label called Dust and Dope Recordings. They've done some really dope stuff. They often get listed online as a UK label. That's how like Discog shows them, but it's like a three-man group, and like one guy's from the UK, one guy's from Australia, one guy's from Canada. If you know them at all, you probably know them for releasing the Rob Reed Killer Instinct album. That's the album that they recorded in the 90s for Warner Brothers, and then they made them shelve it because of controversy with like Cop Killer and all that, and they had some really hot singles, but the album never came out. And then, many years later, Dust and Dope put it out. And they also have done some other cool, actually you can kind of see their catalog here. Anyway, they've been around for a couple years, but I actually started working with them on a couple of exciting new releases that are coming out right now. And also a little bit further down the line that I can't even really talk about. But let's start off with, even though this isn't really quite in chronological order, but what the hell, let's talk about Papa Chuck. You remember Papa Chuck? This is an album that came out in 1994 on Pendulum Records. He was a rapper from Texas, kind of back when it was a novelty for a rapper from Texas to be getting like international. Obviously there's the Ghetto Boys and the whole Rap-A-Lot roster, and the DOC was from Texas, although he was better known after he went to California and started working with Dr. Dre. And, it's like Day One was getting attention at the time, but it was kind of like, oh, from Texas? What's that about, when you would see it in like The Source and all that. And speaking of seeing it in The Source, we'll come back to that. So anyway, this is his album called The Badlands. He had Trunk of Funk was kind of his big single. He also had another single called The Desolate One. I remember part of it might be noteworthy because it was produced by Master OC, as in like, the Fearless Four Master OC. So it was a pretty decent album. It wasn't amazing though, but the guys from Dust and Dope told me that they had found out there's actually an earlier version of the album that is much better, from 1992. And they signed it and they got it and it's coming out, and it's already, here it is. They call it the Texas Roughneck, the demo sessions. Texas Roughneck was his first single on Pendulum in 92, which was already better than pretty much anything on the Desolate One. But even the versions on that 12-inch are not the original versions. The original versions are on here. They're all produced by a producer named DJ Cassanova, also from Texas, naturally. And he and Papa Chuck, they kind of came up together. I'm not going to get into the whole story because actually I already got into the whole story on this CD, because I interviewed DJ Cassanova, and I wrote the liner notes for this CD. There's also a vinyl version, by the way. Dust and Dope is doing the CD, and Chopped Herring is doing the vinyl. Oh, this sticker, by the way, it's on the shrink wrap normally, but I thought it was really cool because it has his label, logo on it and everything, so I kind of stuck it onto the jewel case. But so this is the original demo version of the album, and it is really definitely stronger in just about every way. Almost 100% completely different, like totally different songs, not just remixes, totally different songs. One or two songs are remixes, like IAB, which is actually one of the most interesting songs, even on the Badlands, when it kind of talks about the military and all that kind of stuff, which is something you don't really hear so much in hip-hop, so it's a really interesting subject matter. But there's actually two versions on here. Both of them are better than what's on the Badlands album. It's the original versions with, his original flow on it and everything, as well as the original production.
I'm not your soldier, aka your toy, your motherfucking boy. So what, ships ahoy? To you and your military and the Secretary of State. Let's debate, fuck the U.S. estate. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine. Soldiers of the most fucked up country I've ever seen. Trying to run the world, they just racist. America, KKK, land of the faces. Along with a posse, the UN. Of our European countries, so who they fooling? The enemies done took over and got uneducated brothers fighting as soldiers. Whites kill whites in Bosnia and Serbia, as long as there's Muslims and Croats from Croatia. Well, the foreign affairs stand still, but they bomb Iraq in rotation for the thrill. Destroy a people and a nation, no remorse, hardly any reparation, just like the Negro spiritual. Blacks is waiting for a profit, so what's the deal? Blast on the enemy, he's right here, see, his name is Uncle Sam and all he represents, see. On the stand, cause I ain't bulletproof. Send me to war, what's the use of claiming IAP? I ain't bulletproof. Send me to war, what's the use of claiming IAP? I ain't bulletproof.
But then there's other tracks on here which are just sort of much tighter and harder and really kind of stuff you want to hear. And I think really demonstrates Papa Chuck's skills better. And also the talents of DJ Cassanova, who you don't hear at all. He produced this entire album and he's not at all on the other album. It's all Master OC and Tony Dofat. And it's not, by the way, Marley Marl. Let's talk about that now. Like I said, I first heard of Papa Chuck in the source, this issue. I got a pretty good write-up, and one of the things in the review is that it mentions produced by Marley Marl. Not the whole album, but he did production on it. You know how they kind of list the producers? Here, I can show you. Boom, there's the start of the review, and they list the producers right there in top in parentheses. And Marley Marl's there. And, 94... anytime I saw Marley Marl's name, I was getting the album. No questions asked. And that's why I got the Badlands. And fortunately, it turned out to be pretty good. Like, there is some really good material on here. I liked it at the time. I didn't love it. Like I said, this new, older version is actually better. But anyway, you look at the credits, no Marley Marl. And you thought, okay, well, maybe he engineered. Maybe he did, like, DJ cuts, even though you wouldn't expect that by 94. You kind of hung that up from the 80s. But okay, he just sort of worked on the track. He has writing on the track. Nothing. Why is he on this album? Well, since I was talking to DJ Cassanova, I decided to ask, what is the deal with that lost Marley Marl credit? Or is there a song that's not on either version of the album? Is there even more lost Papa Chuck material? And no, this is what it is. There's a song on the demo version called I Turn You On, which is not the best. It's a little bit more kind of a love sex song. It's pretty dope. It's well produced, but, not the most exciting track on this album by any stretch. But anyway, and that was one of the demos, and it was going to be on the Badlands as well. But they scrapped it because they couldn't clear the sample that he used on that particular song. And when you hear the song and the sample, it's pretty obvious what it would be. It matches with the lyrics.
Now ain't this a trip? Mom's in the relationship, breaking the shit, giving me lip on the speech tip.
And so they got Marley Marl to remix it. And then Marley Marl did, without having heard the original. He just took the vocals, made a beat, boom, 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 released it, and here you go to Pendulum Records. But because the sample is so kind of obvious, I Turned You On, they couldn't clear it either. He used the exact same sample that DJ Cassanova had without realizing it. So Pendulum Records couldn't use it, so it was just scrapped. So we're hearing it for the first time on this album. So yeah, this is demos from the 1992 era, the unreleased original version of the Badlands. Lots of songs, a few songs are remixed. Most of the songs you're hearing for the first time, period. Definitely stronger, more exciting than the Badlands. And like I said, the Badlands pretty good. This is definitely better.
A tower of power, spitting punks, wigs and shit. I'm bombing straight for the slums with fierce drums, squabbing slugs, making them stacking like street bums. Papa Chuck PC, I'm the man G. Came like a nut, cause I fucked up the party. Moving to the top, passing suckers up. Hands so hard that you'll be begging for Allison Duck. The madman from the mantle came in mad boots. Coming rough, not cute, I got mad loot. Ruthless music, strength of a cyclops. Top said don't stop. That funky hip-hop vibrates states, runs up like an earthquake. Deviates time, I mess up a woman's first rate. I'm an outcast, I won't last a sleepwalker. Texas most wanted, the stalker. Spike the hype on the vampire type, cause it's near dark for you lost boys, and this is fight night.
And when you see this video, this is going to be available pretty much right as the video drops, so you'll be able to order it then. I think Chopped Herring already has it on their website for the vinyl. The only difference between the vinyl and the CD, besides all the obvious distinctions between physical formats, is that the CD features some extra bonus instrumentals, and also only the CD has my liner notes where I talk to DJ Cass. And then that really rolls right into the next project, which is coming out right after Papa Chuck. So like I said, Papa Chuck is probably available now as you watch this video, and then Project Crew, the next one, is going to be available 2 days from now, or maybe even by the time this video gets out, if I'm a little slow with it, they'll both be all online. Anyway, so yes, Project Crew. Who is Project Crew? You don't know them? They're pretty obscure. They did have a couple indie 12 inches out back in the late 80s, 1989, and they're produced by DJ Cassanova. Big connection there. So boom, we got a whole freaking sweet-ass double LP gatefolds of their unreleased stuff. This includes all the songs from the 12 inches, which is actually 5 songs. They had one was 3 songs, one was 2. So the rare 12 inches are on here. Plus what would have been the entire complete album. DJ Cass had the original DAT tapes for these and the Papa Chuck album. All the songs from the 12 inches. You might have heard, if you've heard of Project Crew at all, there's a song called Army Man, which, by the way, interesting connection that, Papa Chuck had sort of talked about the military. But Cassanova and these guys talked about it because they actually were in the Army, and this is definitely a song written sort of by soldiers for soldiers. It's a fun song. Pretty memorable, but definitely the kind of thing sounds very dated. But it's fun. Actually, I would say some of the stuff from their second 12-inch, like the song I'm on a Roll, is much tighter, much more exciting. Like, Army Man is fun.
See, I'm the rapper Claymore Ski, and you knew this already. And when it comes to women, I rock the beat steady. I used to have this honey, I rock real good.
But now she did she for some fella who comes from Fort Hood.
Just because I couldn't buy her fresh gold chains, big medallions, perfume, and diamond rings. Didn't push a prelude, just a blue Chevette. Didn't have a box cut like a man I met. I was pissed to the miss. How could she do me like this? I thought I was the kind of man the women couldn't resist. Nope, gone. I was wrong like a dope King Kong. Now I stand up on the stage singing this here song. Oh, my baby left me for an army man because I lost my job again, and I'm lonely. Oh, my baby left me for an army man because I got fired again, and I'm lonely.
And I don't stop, yo, cause I'm on a roll. And I got talent, so got a boss that might control. All praises to the highest, cause he gets the credit. I just change your face and bust your face to rhyme the way I said it. The bandit, branded, cold, highly commanded, in a way so candid, even you can understand it. I'm standing large like a 30-foot pole, and you admire it, cause I'm on the roll. Busting loose and throwing down. What's your excuse for holding the microphone and teasing the public? I can't hear you. More volume on the subject.
So it's DJ Cassanova and 3 MCs. That's the Project Crew, all from Texas. And it's coming out, as I've just shown, on vinyl LP. Dustin Dope historically is mostly all done CDs, but now they're getting into vinyl. Another cool, very cool thing. But they are also doing CD editions. And what's interesting with the CDs is they're doing long boxes. You younger viewers probably don't even know what long boxes are, but if you're an old guy like me, you remember CDs used to be packaged like this. Really long CDs, they're still in the traditional jewel case. The jewel case is actually kind of like in this part of the box, and the rest of it is just empty cardboard filler. But besides giving you really cool, much longer, fancier covers, what I used to do is you could take the front and you could hang these up as like mini posters. And this was on my college dorm wall. So yeah, there's a Project Crew long box too. So this is really fresh. You can actually get two versions. There's a long box, or you can just get the jewel case version if you don't care about the swag. The vinyl, there's two versions. There's colored vinyl and plain straight black vinyl. They're both limited, but the long boxes and the colored vinyl, which are black and marbled black and blue, which kind of matches the color scheme of the album here that we're looking at, are more limited. So here, we'll take it out. This is the actual CD inside, and it's got the booklet with. Now these notes, I didn't actually write these notes. They had notes before I got involved, but I did kind of polish and rewrite the notes, so I'm loosely involved with them. And on those, Dustin Dope already pressed up the vinyl. Obviously, I was just holding it up for you. But it's actually being distributed by Hip Hop Enterprises, which is a label who you might remember probably most notably. They've done a couple things, but the Natural Elements, the double vinyl LP repress of that kind of lost CD-only album that I talked about on my blog a year or two ago. So it's those guys. They're distributing the LP, and it's also available in like Juno and probably a couple other places have it. This is the whole album that it would have been. This is the 12-inch tracks and the rest of the stuff that's totally unreleased, and also earlier demos, which actually some of these demo tracks are at least as good, even better than most of the album tracks. They're really killer tracks. The CD, by the way, does have one extra bonus demo track that's not on the LP, but almost everything's on both. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to play some clips. You can hear it for yourself. It is really dope stuff. I can't play it all because there's a lot of songs across 2 whole albums, so I'm just going to pick some highlights.
Give me the microphone and watch a real pro flaunt it. There's 2 kinds of rappers, the havers and the wanteds. And while I'm holding, I'm letting the public know I ain't letting go. Give me a beat to kick so I can squash the rumors like tumors. Top Gun, a better rapper than the rapper Claymore. Ain't none, you know it in the back of your mind. Deadly cause I'm drawing a line, you got say so. Fine, but you don't want no parts of prodigal cannibals. Cause we fit no men, boy, and very few animals. So keep that in your memory when you try to contend with me. Cause I'm running this. Title of this when you don't want none of this. I get my brain containing holes that folks wanna know that they say a brother named Ski. Is he Polish though? I'm living life of glee. In a million years I never dreamed it happened to me. I'm in love and I'm as happy as can be. Living larger than large, more like gigantic. So I thought I'd come off romantic and let you know you are the apple of my eye. I know it's unusual for CLAY to let the feelings show, but yo, sweetheart, you mean so much to me. I want the world to see where my heart is. Late night and early morning start is. My ego flies from your innocent eyes. I never doubt you wrong. How did I live so long without you? To feel your touch, it means so much. No, I'm saying a lot, but you give it. If I had 9 lives, I live them all vivid. For you, girl, because your feelings are true to me. They go right through to me. Ooh, girl, what you do to me.
Yo, won't you get a grip on them? Cause soon I'll be sticking your girl's head. And if you wish to throw the I shoot the bullet and will not miss. Cause when I rock a party, it never stops, not before and so not after. I heat up a party and it starts melting. I'm like light beer, I'm less feeling. Never healing, just revealing. Open your lips and I'll refill them. Used to go rock the slow tempo, but now it's hyped up, so get on the floor and dance and branch your butt off. Don't talk, don't point, don't laugh off. Don't mention, cause I resent then. But you open your mouth, you should be dancing. Cause it's a beat that cats created on the SV12. Can you relate to this? I thought so, you wanna be a no-so. And if not, you wanna rhyme, then go.
And that's it for these, but me working with Dustin Dope is an ongoing thing. I've already interviewed one group of artists. Another artist I'm going to talk to as soon as I turn off the stop button on this record. I'm going to text him. So I'm doing as many interviews now. I haven't done this many interviews since I worked in the Source back in the 90s. So I'm staying busy working with these guys. There's some really exciting stuff. Some more kind of obscure indie stuff that's never been released, finally getting released. And one ultimate super secret project. Like I said, these guys, Dustin Dope, they've been around for a couple of years, but I think they're really going to get on your radar pretty soon. A, because they're getting into the vinyl game, and B, because they're getting some big stuff. This release, I can't. They'll strangle me to death if I spoil what it is. But I'll just say, you've heard of these guys before, like Project Crew. You know, if you're from Texas, you might be, hey, you know, I remember like, you know, Chuck and Quince and stuff like that. But if you're not, this is probably some kind of obscure stuff. Some of the other stuff they've done, you know, like they got Rubber Room, Black AG, who also had a release on Dope Folks and all. So you know some of these guys, but it's, you know, you have to be really plugged into the underground hip hop scene. This you know about. If you're watching my video at all, it's on your want list. You've heard of these guys. Mainstream people who barely know hip hop have heard of these guys. And yet, it's really dope stuff. It's not like some kind of cheesy MC Hammer kind of thing either. It's something you've been longing for a long time. It's going to be a big deal. And like I said, also plenty more stuff. Some stuff is already almost done in the works. Like I said, I'm about to do an interview. And as far as I know, I think we have a pretty good, happy relationship. So probably even more down the line. You know, but I'm not going to go nuts turning my blog into like the Dustin Dope website or anything. Like, I'm working with these guys. We got some more exciting releases. But next video, I'm going to talk about something completely unrelated. And I'll see you guys soon. All right. Thanks for watching.